This is Zach Bratz reporting for Shawnee TV. Every year, the Shawnee Drama Club produces a musical near the end of wintertime. As of the time recording this, the musical this year is Singing in the Rain.
It takes place in 1927 in Hollywood, while it was sort of the golden age of cinema. But at the time, they were making silent films.
Singing in the Rain is a musical made famous by Gene Kelly. It was first a movie, then turned into a stage play, and it just is a fun show about people in the theater and movie worlds trying to make it big.
You have your star, Don Lockwood, and Lena Lamont, who are the big silent movie stars. And when they go to transition to making talking pictures or musicals, we find that it's kind of impossible because Lena has a terrible voice. She talks like this. And so nobody wants to hear her in the pictures. So they hire someone named Kathy to be her voice. And then there's a love story that sort of forms between Kathy and Don.
Kathy is considered to be the underdog of Singing in the Rain. She meets the movie star Don, who they later fall in love way down the line, but they definitely go through a few different obstacles to get there. But it ends up being a very fun character, and I love playing her. She also stars in the dancing group, so it's really fun to play a dance-heavy character who goes through so much of a journey throughout the show.
The whole thing is a musical comedy, and the script is very funny, and there's a ton of singing and a ton of dancing. It's a great classic show.
So it's a musical about making a musical.
Correct.
The process of a musical is never easy, as it takes a team of dedicated people to help make the dream a reality. But don't just take my word for it, since I had the privilege to talk with the director of the musical, Miss Keel, as well as several others who would tell a few things about the process of making musicals.
So I'm the director of the show, which kind of means that I wear all the hats. So I'm the main decision maker, the head chef in the kitchen, I guess you would say. So all decisions and questions kind of come to me, and I oversee all parts.
So my technical title would be the assistant director. And what that means for this show is that I basically work with most of the dancing ensembles, and I sort of oversee our student choreographers, and I talk with them and I help come up with formations and figure out who's in which numbers and stuff like that.
Before we actually casted the show, we sat down and we divvied up who's gonna do what, who's gonna choreograph everything. So with the help of my fantastic co-choreographer, Michael, and the two other assistants that we have, Annie and Aaron, it has made my job so much easier.
So the four of us have really been trying to not replicate things identically, but put our own spin on it, which is kind of hard because it's such iconic choreography.
But essentially, I listen to the music, I look at the score, I get some inspo from different productions that have done the show, and I come up with my own version of it, and then I teach it to the cast.
So I have a lot of help. I have student choreographers who are fantastic. I have a wonderful assistant director and a vocal director who also is the pit director. We have a great rehearsal accompanist. We have a tech director, a stage manager, and they're all fantastic. And what I kind of do is just make sure everyone's doing their job and everyone's doing, what they were supposed to be doing within the show, and just watching the whole thing get put together.
Although, the cast can't do the show on their own, and that's all thanks to the backstage and tech crew.
Our crew this year, for the most part, it's the same kids who did the drama in the fall, so we have our fall drama and the winter musical. A lot of overlap with the kids, but the stage crew's responsibility is making the props, helping with the set, and then when the actual show is going on, we're the ones moving the props around in the dark in between the scenes.
I am the stage right manager. I basically get to tell people what to do, and I'm in charge of giving my side of the stage their cues and what they'll be doing, moving stuff on stage.
I am pretty hands-off with my students for the most part. I let them know what we need to do, and then they take it and run. So if there is a really cool prop that you see, a pretty neat backdrop that you see, that's all the students, and I'm just kind of there supervising.
As this is a musical, we gotta have music in it. So I was also fortunate to ask Mr. Joubert a few questions on how the band works.
For the all-school musical, I am the music director. So I work with the cast in helping them prepare the music to sing, and I work with the orchestra to help prepare the accompaniment for the singers. That includes strings, woodwinds, brass, percussion as well, and what that also means is I am the conductor of the show, so making the music organized in live action, live time. I think the orchestra's doing a great job. We are one of very few schools that still use students in the orchestra. We have 28 musicians, which I'm very proud of.
Whether it's dancing, singing, directing, or handling the equipment behind the scenes, it takes a lot of people of all different talents to run excellent performances like this one.
Theater is a way to do so many things because as someone who is part of theater, it gives you a chance to pretend to be someone else, but also to tell someone else's story. And it's just a way to sort of escape and express yourself all at one time. I love going to theater because, again, it's just another way to get wrapped into a story that's like a little more fun than reading a book or watching the same movie over and over. And it's exhilarating. Like when you go to a good show, you can feel the music and you feel the excitement of those on stage. So what's not to love about it?
You work on this show for months at a time, and each one is like its own jigsaw puzzle that you're trying to put every little piece together to make this one big work of art at the end.
I just love seeing when I give my kids something to do. Like, for example, there's a scene where someone jumps out of a cake in this musical. I said, we need a person-sized cake, and they said, all right, we're on it. No questions, just took it and ran, and everything turns out so wonderfully just when they're able to be creative and kind of do their thing.
After all the hard work has been done and we finally add the tech and the orchestra and stage crew and makeup and lights and sound, all of that, and it just fits and it just like feels right. And it's like all the times that we struggled with this, it's finally working out.
When that curtain opens and you see the whole thing play out sort of close to what you had in your head, and you see it change night by night, show by show, cast by cast, and you watch the actors and the students bring the show to life and kind of bring your vision to the stage, and it's just like one of the most amazing feelings, one of the most rewarding experiences.
The whole musical experience, my favorite part is probably seeing all of the fruit of the students' work come to light. So they work for months on different aspects of the show, and it is always very rewarding to see how accomplished those students feel.
If you have ever seen Singing in the Rain or heard of Singing in the Rain, I'm sure that you can call into mind the scene where he is bopping around singing and dancing in the rain. And so one of the biggest things that we've been working on is actually setting it up so that it will rain during our show. So that has just been a huge, huge part of prepping for this musical.
It could take months of hard work, but in the end, it's very rewarding.
Oh yes, I don't remember doing anything else because I've been loving theater probably since I could walk and talk. I kind of grew up on it. My parents had all these albums in, the basement that I would just pull out, and they were albums of musicals. They had some rock stuff and everything and all of that too, but I just fell in love with the musicals, and some of the first ones that I would listen to, Fiddler on the Roof, A Chorus Line, 42nd Street, Jesus Christ Superstar, those were all shows that I sort of grew up around, and I just fell in love with putting it together. I used to write little plays when I was a kid and, have my cousins and my friends perform them. And I've just been directing, I think, my entire life. And I performed a little bit, but I think theater in general, I would sweep the floor if it meant I got to be there. It's just my whole life.
I would say that I would want people to join the musical because it's a really great community of people, and you also really get to it's very collaborative. And I think when people think about the musical, they think of people getting up and playing parts by themselves, but I don't think everyone realizes how much of a group effort it is.
What I've noticed, at least in the last 10 years or so, is that the students just want to be there. They want to learn from each other. They want to learn from their directors. They want to, show off the things that they're best at, and they want to improve the things that they still need work on.
I love doing the shows, and I love the time I get to spend with my crew during intermission and before and after the shows. I think that is the best part.
I think Shawnee specifically gives so many opportunities to the students. We see this year with the film aspect, and then all these choreography and a vocal assistant. So there's just so much to do.
I think it's just a magical thing to do, and you're putting on a show and you're hearing that applause and you're making people smile, and I think that's what it's all about.
From what I learned, musicals have the power to inspire and bring people together. You could be a dancer, a singer, part of the tech crew. No matter who you are or what your talents are, there is something for everyone in the world of theater. The musicals here in Shawnee are truly something special, whether it's simple dramas or if they're trying something new and ambitious. Musicals have the power to change lives. All it takes is a story.